Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down the big questions. Today, we're doing a little time travel. We're jumping forward to the year 2026 to look back at a device that really broke new ground with AI, the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So, picture this. The phone's been out for a year, the initial hype has definitely cooled off, and there's a new model on the market. So the big question is the iPhone 16 Pro Max still the right choice for you? Let's find out if it's still a smart investment. Here's how we're going to break it down for you. First, we'll hit that Apple Intelligence revolution. Then we'll cover the hardware, the good and the bad. After that, we'll get into the reality of using it for a year. And finally, the big verdict. Okay, first up, let's talk about what was, without a doubt, the single biggest leap forward with this phone, especially for users in Vietnam. This was the device that brought true on-device AI to Vietnamese speakers for the very first time. And listen, this wasn't just some other feature they tacked on. No way. Apple completely changed how millions of Vietnamese users could interact with their iPhones. We're talking about moving beyond just simple commands to actual, genuine understanding. And the best part? It was all processed right there on the device, so it was totally private. And these features were so much more than just basic translation. Think about it, rewriting an email to sound more professional in an instant, getting a quick summary of a long article you don't have time for, or even creating AI art just using Vietnamese text. And Siri? Well, Siri finally became the assistant we always wanted, understanding natural, conversational language. It was a massive step up. But of course, brilliant software needs brilliant hardware to shine. So let's switch gears and talk about the physical tech. How did it actually hold up after a full year of being dropped, pocketed, and used every single day? You can really see Apple's thinking here. They pushed the screen to a massive 6.9 inches, but by making the bezels super thin, the phone itself is only a tiny bit bigger than the 15 Pro Max. Plus, it's way lighter than the old stainless steel phones, all thanks to that grade 5 titanium frame. Now let's talk about the one feature that people either loved or hated, the new camera control button. If you were a serious vlogger or filmmaker, this thing was a dream, a pressure-sensitive button for precise control over zoom and focus. But for just the average person, it was kinda annoying. You'd hit it by accident in your pocket, and it took a while to really learn how to use it properly. Okay, let's move past the spec sheets and get into what really matters. What's it like to actually live with this phone for a whole year? How's the battery doing? What were the little bugs that drove people crazy? Let's get into the reality of it. One word for the battery life: champion. It was, and honestly still is, an absolute beast. With that massive battery, people were consistently getting 11, even 12 hours of screen-on time. It's a true all-day phone, even if you're a super heavy user. But, and this is a big one, that incredible battery came with a serious trade-off. The charging speeds are just slow, painfully slow compared to the competition. A full charge takes over 2 hours. That's nearly an hour longer than its main rival. And in 2026, waiting that long feels like an eternity. And hey, no phone is perfect. Over the last year, a few annoying issues have cropped up. Some people ran into the dreaded panic full error, which causes the phone to just restart on its own. The camera app would sometimes crash when you're shooting in 4K. And yep, that classic iPhone lens flare when you shoot towards a bright light, it's still a thing. All right, we've gone through the revolutionary AI, the hardware hits and misses, and the real-world experience. So let's bring it all together. What's the final verdict? In 2026, should you buy an iPhone 16 Pro Max? So it really breaks down like this. If you're upgrading from an older phone like an iPhone 13 or 14, then yes, absolutely buy it. The jump in screen size, performance, and especially those Vietnamese AI features is huge. If you're a tech nerd who needs the absolute latest thing, you should probably consider the iPhone 17. But for the savvy, budget-conscious buyer, a like-new used model is the absolute sweet spot. And speaking of the budget, here's a quick look at the pricing in January 2026. As you can see, grabbing a used model in great condition can save you a pretty significant amount of money. For a phone that is still this powerful, that makes it an amazing value. So the iPhone 16 Pro Max was way more than just another phone. It was the device that put powerful, personalized AI into the daily lives of millions of Vietnamese users. It broke down a massive language barrier. And that leaves us with one final exciting question to think about. What's the next barrier for our technology to break?